The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
How are we
going?
How are you
doing?
doing? At the same time. I love that.
We are all on the same
Jinx.
page. I love it.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome.
The show must go on.
I'm Giovanni.
Definitely.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Nikki. Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
So happy to have you. You're the first ones here.
Yeah.
After us.
How was everyone's week?
I started my new job today. Well, not today, on Monday. This is my first week on my new job.
How do we
So-
feel?
Hey, I'm happy to be employed.
That's important.
No, I'm happy. It's good. I feel very lucky. It's only been day 3, but so far so good.
Tell them
Good.
how long it took you to get that job.
Fuck, it took 7 months to find a job. It's crazy. The job market
Was it
right
that
now-
long?
Yeah.
Wait, Tracy, are you ready? Tell Tracy and the listeners how many jobs do you apply to?
At least 700 jobs. 700 jobs, and I probably only interviewed with maybe 20 companies out of the 700, and I've been applying for 7 months. Y'all, if you're out there looking for a job and you can't find one, I understand your struggle. The job market is fucking crazy.
It's rough.
It's rough. It's
And
incredible.
you're qualified.
And I'm qualified. I'm
Yes.
telling
Yeah.
you, I'm someone who have made 6 figures. I have a degree.
I mean, Joe,
I've been
well,
working.
let's also say, like, there were a few that you rejected because you knew you deserved.
Okay, I've rejected.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
be honest.
yes,
Out of the
yeah.
700, I've rejected like 3. Okay.
Yeah, but
Allowed to be
he
picky.
had, he had to reject it because they were offering too little, and I think he did the right choice.
Fucking-
by
Inflation. Everything's going up except for people's salaries. What the fuck?
And people's hope.
Yeah.
Wait, talking about jobs, I forgot about this for a second. Last week, I auditioned for a cycling studio, and I was pretty excited. Granted, you guys know I haven't done that type of cycling in a while, the cycling with choreography. And on Thursday, they told me I didn't get it. And
That's blasphemy.
and that's like the first. Actually, no, that's the second rejection I've ever gotten in the fitness industry. Which, whatever, it's not like when we were in acting school that it was like left and right coming from everywhere, the rejections. But I haven't been rejected like that in forever. So
That hurts.
it hit hard a little bit in the self-esteem.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like I wasn't as good as I could have been because I was gasping for air the whole time. But it's also because my endurance is not the way it used to be when I used to teach that type of cycling all the time. But I was butthurt a little bit.
I'm
A
shocked.
little
Got
bit.
over it. I think it was also the shock of it. Then my coworker, by the way, to the listeners, I'm a fitness instructor. I do have a job. I just wanted to expand a little bit more. And my job right now I love, and it's my home. I'm never giving up that job unless I really have to, But my coworker said something interesting because everyone was like, oh, maybe it wasn't meant for you. Like, don't doubt yourself. And she's like, maybe the universe is protecting you of something. And I was like, you know what? That like kind of opened up my mind a little bit. And I was like, you know what? That's true. The fitness industry can be really, really dirty and 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 abusive. And maybe I was being protected by that.
I am a firm believer that things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's okay.
It
It's
was
nothing against
really,
you because we both know that you're an amazing instructor.
oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
I definitely was shocked. Definitely, oof. It was like a self-esteem like hit. But honestly, a few hours later, I went to Magic Kingdom and I was like, I'm fine.
Well, you're in the happiest place on earth. So,
Right.
Yeah, I had a little ice cream. I got on like 4 rides out of nowhere, and I was like, okay.
that's the
It
cure.
was a good time. Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
that sucks. I'm shocked
Yeah.
that
I'm
the universe is
really
protecting you
surprised.
from something. That's a
Yeah,
really good way
yeah.
to put it.
Amen to that.
I agree. And then like where I work now, they just like called me yesterday to offer me like 3 to 4 more classes, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
there we
because
go.
this podcast is already a hit on episode 5. Are you kidding me?
I know we're gonna be famous.
Why? If you're listening to this,
Yeah,
tell
I'm
your
like,
friends.
we're busy.
Tell your
Yes,
friends.
tell your friends to listen to us talk shit about stuff that
Come
we
on,
don't
we
know much
love to
about,
talk
and
shit.
we love it. Yeah. What else, Tracy? What about you? How was your week?
It was busy, so I was helping my mom clean up the house a little
Okay.
bit. So we went furniture shopping.
Wow.
I feel like such an
Ooh.
adult.
That's
So-
actually
I really like
fun. I
furniture
love that
shopping.
shit.
Yeah. So we bought a few pieces and we're just going through some
Okay.
things, and so
Okay, a little like New Year cleanse.
yeah, I'm like into
Makeover.
the
I like
spring
that.
cleaning. So
I love
Love
that.
that.
I love that. All right.
Love
Well,
that.
why don't we get to work and talk? Well, why don't we announce what we're going to talk about today?
Wait, before we announce, I just wanted to bring up a few things. So did everybody watch the trailer for Quiet Place?
Oh, fuck yes. I forgot to talk about that. Yes.
Yes.
Hell fucking yes.
It's called Quiet Place Day 1. And the trailer had me hooked. And it's not even like, they say like the teaser. And I was like, is that a teaser? Because I am in.
Oh,
I cannot
yeah.
wait for this movie to come.
I said, "Let's fucking go."
Yeah.
When I was watching, I was like, "Yes, I'm hooked. I'm in."
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lupita is leading. She's such a good actress.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this trailer and movie for a while because I knew that they were going to work on a third movie, which was going to be a prequel like over a year ago, just because I've been so obsessed with the Quiet Place movies. So I'm so excited. Lupita's in it. Joseph Quinn's in it. He's so fucking hot. Joseph, I have a crush on you. But I do have a boyfriend, so don't text me, don't call me, don't DM me.
Tell him you're
going
not
to.
available.
But I'm not available, unfortunately, Joseph. Okay, so back off.
He's upset now.
I know.
And I wanted to bring up, now that we're talking about Quiet Place, I wanted to bring up John Krasinski and how he's killing it in the game.
Fuck
because
yeah.
now he has the If movie
Yeah.
with Steve Carell. It's a cartoon, Tracy. Tracy's like, wait, what?
I
Yeah.
know. I
It's a
feel out of the loop.
cartoon, and the leading character is Steve Carell. And wait, it is a cartoon, right?
I think it's a live
It's like
live
yeah.
action with animation. I think it's a combination
Yes.
of the two. And there is
Yeah.
a pretty good cast, you know.
So yeah, and the If comes from Imaginary Friend.
Cute.
Which is not to be confused with Imaginary, because it's coincidentally there's a horror movie coming out called Imaginary that is about a child with an imaginary friend. I don't know if you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely not it. It's Steve Carell, it's Ryan Reynolds, and John Krasinski is directing it. And they already did like a little, like a behind the scenes, and it was like, in reference to, for the Office fans, and I thought it was hilarious. I was like, only the Office people will understand this little behind
It's
the
a
scenes.
star-studded cast. There's Emily Blunt, Maya Rudolph, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Sam Rockwell, Christopher Maloney, Jon Stewart, Richard Jenkins, Aquafina. I mean, I cannot wait.
Wow.
A lot of people are in
Let's
this
go.
movie.
Krasinski.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
killing it.
Good for him.
He's really killing it.
What else are we watching?
Okay, so I have a guilty pleasure. And it's so bad. I want to go cry in a corner. I'm so embarrassed. So, oh God.
You can do this. Go ahead. Tell
I
us.
can do
We're
this.
here to
So
support you.
This is a safe space. Everyone, if you're listening, turn the podcast
Okay.
off now. Well, actually, fast forward 30 seconds and don't listen to this part.
So last year, my boyfriend does like reality TV shows, and he really likes Vanderpump Rules. Last year he was watching the last season that had come out, and I was always around and like on my phone or in the computer, and somehow I got involved, and I started asking questions. Who is this? Why did she cheated on him, or he cheated on her? And I got really invested in the last season. I didn't know any of the back history. And my boyfriend was like, oh, well, because this guy was dating that girl, and like, the whole drama. So I decided that I was going to watch it from the beginning. And I started last week, and I'm on season 3.
Holy shit, that's fast. Damn.
And I feel like I am wasting my life away, and my brain is shrinking, but I cannot get enough. I can't get enough of this fucking show.
That's reality TV.
I'm even dreaming of these people. I'm like, why are you guys here in my dreams now?
That's me with
Get
Real
out.
Housewives. Fuck.
Well, how many seasons do they have now? Vanderpump
Which
Rules.
one? Like 10.
So, I mean, they haven't been on that long for no reason. A lot of people watch it.
Yeah, like it's really good trash TV, man.
It's good fucking trash TV.
I'm like, can I just have a little glass of wine and like popcorn or a charcuterie board,
Ooh, I want some right now.
right? And I'll just watch this all day long.
Can we just do that?
Yeah, that's
sounds
really
good.
all I want to do.
Oh man, damn, good stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I've been watching. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, I think Tracy. Wow, I've been watching True Detective.
Me too.
Holy shit!
I'm waiting because I want to binge the
Tracy,
shit out of it. I know.
I cannot wait. We should talk about it on this podcast. You guys will probably
I
would
want
appreciate
to.
that. But
Well, like once it's all out.
once it's
Yeah.
all out, yeah. So coming soon, and an episode near you. We'll be talking about season 4 of True Detective. Fuck, I cannot wait to comment on that. So I'll save my comments for that episode. Tracy, are you watching anything exciting?
I'm watching the second season of Dr. Death.
Oh,
Are you okay? Because I did watch it, and Mandy
with
Moore
Mandy
puts me
Moore.
to sleep.
I don't want to watch that.
I don't know why. Like, she's booking jobs, which is great, but she's a little vanilla for me. I know I'm gonna get crucified for that.
Oh my god.
I just like,
Tracy.
I mean, she's fine. I think the other cast members are, the reason to watch it. I'm not watching it because of Mandy Moore.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, like, that character, they did, like, I don't know. Do you know the story? Do you listen to the podcast?
Oh, I listen to those podcasts, yeah.
They switch a lot from the story. They did a few changes from
Of course.
from the original story.
Right.
But I feel like that journalist was like a little bit stronger than how she's being portrayed.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think like they're trying with her, that she's,
Have you finished
call him
it?
out. I have like a half hour left.
Oh, okay. So you're.
But I'm like almost done.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I loved her in A Walk to Remember and The Princess Diaries.
Oh, that's true.
You know, I think she has a beautiful voice, but you know, um, I don't know. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying that, but whatever, man.
That's
From
what
a
we're here
failed
for.
actor to a successful actor, I don't like her. Oh, wait. So I wanted to bring up two things that were one is like super exciting. Catherine O'Hara is joining season 2 of The Last of Us.
I saw. Yes.
Yes. I was like,
Wow.
I need to write this down. This is really exciting. And something else that's going to make you guys feel a little old. You're all ready? So, Ace Ventura Pet Detective was released in theaters 30 years ago. 30. 30.
Oh my God.
Yep. I knew I couldn't feel old by myself.
Well, you know what's
So glad I
funny
share that.
is I probably watched that movie when it came out 30 years ago,
Me
which would mean that I
too.
was 5.
Yeah.
That's not a movie a
I
5-year-old
mean,
should be watching.
heck no.
No.
He was chalking with his butt.
And the end, when they find out that it's really a man,
Yep.
and they're all like, ugh, ugh.
Yep. And the hippopotamus, like, giving birth.
Yeah.
Traumatizing.
Gosh.
Wow, what a great movie.
I need to rewatch it. I
I love
forgot
Jim
it.
Carrey.
Alrighty then. That was so bitch.
And when he's like, Chicago.
No, he's like, or when he goes like, Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah.
But when he's like saying Chicago and like everyone has to like kneel or like bow, and then he's like, Chicago. And then he starts saying like weird names, and they like, he keeps like pranking them. Ugh, what a great, great movie.
Tracy, do you have an Ace Ventura, what would you call that? Like an Ace Ventura reenaction or...
Oh, I love when he goes to the mental institution and he's like wearing the tutu and his hair is like even crazier. Yeah. And he's doing the like football. Do you know what I'm talking about? That whole scene?
I gotta watch this movie.
No.
It's been a while.
I remember the tutu for sure.
Yeah.
The image, I remember that a lot.
Right. And him doing his like touchdown dance. That's good.
Okay, let's get to work. Okay, because
Yes.
you know.
Sorry, I needed to bring those
What are
things
the,
up.
what
No,
are
I love it.
right? So who wants to have the honors of telling our listeners about what today's episode is about?
Tracy, go for it.
Okay, sure. So we watched the Netflix docuseries American Nightmare. It was yeah. The series covers the March 2015 kidnapping of Denise Huskins from their home that she shared with her boyfriend Aaron Quinn in Vallejo, California. The Vallejo Police Department and the FBI assumed the kidnapping was a hoax staged by Huskins and Quinn, and Huskins was labeled the real Gone Girl by the media.
Oh my God. I have so much to say.
So much to say. I mean, just the fact that they even reference Gone Girl, which I don't know if you guys know this, but Gone Girl is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Oh, wow. So just putting that out there, like, yeah, this is like a wet dream.
But it's also just like the timing of it too. Like if that movie hadn't come out, or if this had been several years past, because it had like just come out.
Yeah, like a year before.
You know, so I
So
think
crazy.
that made a huge difference to the cops and the investigation, which is just unfair.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about what happens, right? So we have...
So I like how they split the episodes up.
Right.
Basically the first one was finding out if the boyfriend was like, point of view, the boyfriend is a suspect. And right away from the beginning, I don't know about you guys. I did not know about this case. Like, I've heard about it, but I didn't know the whole thing.
I didn't
It's
know
like
about it
that
at
then.
all.
Yeah, I didn't know the
I
specifics.
the only thing I remember I've heard was that it was a hoax. I didn't know anything else. I didn't keep investigating, none of that. So I remember when I was watching, I was like, oh, right, they did say it was a hoax, but then the boyfriend describes to the police what happened, and he's being so specific. So because he was so specific, that's why I was like, when you are lying, you're not that specific. I mean, we've all listened to so many true crime podcasts and watched many true crime documentaries that we know now that liars do not specify anything because they're making the story up. They don't specify as much. She was so specific about the goggles, the swimsuit, like, what do you guys think?
I was going to say that you are right. We've watched so much true crime documentaries that I feel like I could get away with murder, literally. So
Yeah, because we know what needs to
we
be
know what
done at
needs to
this
be
point.
done and how people have been
Yeah.
caught. That's actually kind of bad, but it's also made me more self-aware. But anyway, so I'll be honest, I went in blind. I had no idea about what this case was about. I was literally bored on a weekend night, and I was like, you know what? Let's just put this on. I did not know about the case. This took place in 2015. The year now is 2024. So this like 9 years ago. I had no idea what this was about. So, I started it, and it starts with the boyfriend. They're interrogating the boyfriend, they're interviewing the boyfriend, and getting his perspective on what happened. The abduction of his girlfriend, Denise, right? That's her name, Denise? Mm-hmm. Right. And, I'm listening to this story, and immediately I'm thinking, holy shit, this is fucking weird. Like, men storm in the middle of the night, they're wearing swimsuits, and then they're saying that this is actually meant to be for your ex.
Wait, it's not swimsuit. Sorry, that was my mistake.
Oh,
It's like
wetsuits. Sorry,
wetsuits.
wetsuits.
Yes.
Wetsuit,
Wetsuits,
Can you
swimsuit,
imagine with this speedo?
and
a little banana hammock.
Yeah.
the what else? He says, oh, what the first thought that made me think, oh, he did it or he's guilty was that he waited until later on in the day to call 911. And immediately I thought, oh, he's
yes.
guilty. He's a fucking
Yeah,
liar.
me too.
But then we find out later that, he was being watched, on the camera, and he had also been drugged. But why not tell the 911 operator that, when you're calling them? Because you can tell that the 911 operator immediately was thinking, like, she was questioning it. She was like thinking,
Yeah.
well, when was she abducted? And he was like, well, last night. And he's like, and you're calling now, But also I realized that this guy has been drugged. So he's also kind of waking up from being drugged. He's probably drowsy. He's not
Drowsy.
fully
Scared.
there
His
yet.
hands
He's
tied.
scared. He's been tied, which he did mention that. So I'm like, okay, we kind of have to take those things into consideration as to why he probably waited so long to call her, and maybe why he didn't tell her that, which, you know what, that actually kind of, if I really want to say that I've learned a lot from watching true crime documentaries, something that I've learned that probably makes him even more innocent, because when you committed a crime, I think you're way too prepared. I don't know if that makes sense, where you kind of have an answer for everything. I'm gonna talk about the Boston murders. The Boston murders, the guy that had his pregnant wife killed in the car, right?
Yeah.
And if you remember that 911 call, when he calls 911, the operator's asking him, okay, have you been shot? He's like, yes. Has your wife been shot? Yes. But I think she's dying. She seems to passed out. have passed out. And this is what fucks him over. He says, I think he says something along the lines of like, oh, I was able to duck this, which is why, I'm okay. So he's already like covering his ass,
that. Yep.
or it's just like, why are you thinking about that in that moment? He was already trying to cover his ass for a crime that he committed. But anyway, I'm kind of going way off topic. But yeah, I didn't believe him at first, and then I did, and then I didn't, and I didn't, and it's like, and then when the first episode ended on that cliffhanger where they show her, I was like, I didn't know what to think. I was so lost. But
I know.
yeah.
I know. It's really shocking.
Well, and I think too it is such an unbelievable story that he tells, so I could understand, like, I kind of thought maybe he was lying. And I thought maybe it was like a Sherry Papini situation where she had like another friend come and kidnap her and hold her, like, unfortunately that's happened a little too often in the past, where women pretend to be taken hostage and like the ransom and all this stuff, and it turns out that they really were the ones who had orchestrated it. So I thought maybe he could have been behind it, or maybe he didn't know about it and she was pulling this off as a hoax. Like, I wasn't really sure. But the thing is that what bothered me the most is the way that detective, Matt Mustard, basically, it's not even an interrogation. He's telling him what happened.
Yeah.
In my mind, if you're a good cop, you're not telling him, oh, you went and you did this and that. You wait. If you think that they're a suspect, that they've done anything wrong, you let them fill in the gaps. You don't feed them something. And second of all, our justice system is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Yep. So you're sitting there, and a man who we find out, has been through a lot of trauma, and you're treating him as a suspect and a serial killer, which, by the way, isn't it 3 or more people that you have to have killed? So he's not even a serial killer anyway, you moron. If you're listening to this, Matt Mustard, you're a moron. But yeah.
So stupid.
Idiot. So that pissed me off. I was like, even if this guy is guilty, like, you don't sit there and do that, like that's...
But this also goes in the narrative of, policemen not wanting to do their job, and it's in California, which doesn't help because LA is there. So the LAPD already has a horrible reputation of not following through investigations, blaming whoever just for them to get the praise and have the job done without really having to investigate anything. So right away, the way he was being treated, I was like, this is giving me a different vibe. At the beginning, I did think, like, when they took him, I was like, oh yeah, he's guilty. I'm like, how do you call the police like 12 hours later or whatever, whenever he called them, like way too late. But then the way he was being treated, I was like, they're looking for a person to make guilty and be done with this and not do their actual jobs.
I want to add that there was a time while watching this documentary, and I want to say a lot of it was that I didn't believe her. Like, I thought that he was part of a scam where she had set up this whole thing to pretend like these men were kidnapping her to sort
That's
of
what I thought
maybe
too.
Get back at him because, there was these instances. They were going through a little
Andrea.
rough patch, right? She caught him talking to his ex, Andrea, which, they're all working the same.
That's the only part that you're like, oh, this is giving Gone Girl.
Right, Gone Girl. Ugh, like,
But you know what I was also thinking, and this is something that I'm gonna like take back to to the episode that we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the Natalia Grace case, and Michael, the way Michael talks to the camera or to the interviewers, he's doing so much for them to be believed, for him to be believed by them, for them to trust him, for them to believe every word that's coming out of his mouth. But when Denise was talking, she was so still, and so the tears were coming out like really, really slowly. And that's when I was like, I don't think she's lying, because you can tell that she's embarrassed.
There's shame, yeah.
You know, that she feels humiliated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that she just has just gone through that, and then she's being treated like shit by the media and by the investigators and by the police. So I don't know. The moment they started interviewing her, right away I was like, she's not lying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys felt that.
No, I agree 1,000%. Yeah.
I started to believe her in episode 2, the Gone Girl episode, which I love that they call it Gone Girl, the episode. I started to believe her in episode 2, and it was because of what Nikki just said, that she was very still. You know, although tears, anyone can cry on cue, but it just felt genuine. You know, she was just like, you can tell that she was just so disgusted with, I don't know if it was with herself, unfortunately, but like the man and those memories, and having to sit there and talk about what happened to her again. You know, she probably has told this story.
Like shame and
very shameful, you know. And because I remember, you know, when she eventually sees Aaron again, you know, way later on, the first things that she says to him is like, I didn't want to do it.
Yes.
And she's talking about the guilt, the shame from
Yeah.
the rape. And I'm like, damn, that's so fucking sad that she's blaming herself for the rape. Like, how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
You know?
It's usually like that.
I mean,
And talking about that, being that shameful and you know, feeling super embarrassed and humiliated, it also reminded me, and we saw Michael talk the way that he did, but we also saw the Johnny Depp case. What was her name?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. The way she was talking,
Fake.
I was like, why are you doing
So fake.
Like, why are you trying to do this? It looked like a bad monologue in a really bad audition. She was trying to do so much. When you have been through the shit that, quote unquote, she said she had been through, you're so embarrassed, you don't look at them in the eye. And yeah, everyone has a different reaction to shit, but you could tell that the way that she was talking, because I saw a lot of there was a documentary on Netflix. I saw a lot of that, and I was like, I don't believe you anymore, because it's like, for her it seems like you look at me, you have to believe me. She will look at them in the eyes about like the spitting and, you know, the getting hit. Usually when women go through that, we are embarrassed, and it's really hard for us to, I'm saying like I've been through it. I've never been to it, but it's really hard for women to admit. They usually look down because the shame is too much.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
And that like reminded me of Amber, because Amber was completely the opposite of Denise.
Right. Yeah.
Amber was selling a story.
Right. Also, I think like the amount of detail that Denise gave, like when she was saying that she had like woken up at one point and she could hear music, and she said that it was French pop music.
So specific.
So like really specific, and also such an interesting detail, because I feel like if you're making something up, I think that's a weird detail to say. Like, wouldn't you just say like, oh, he was playing Beyonce or, you know, Drake or something, you know? But like French pop music is just so specific in my mind. So just like the details, you could tell that she was reliving this experience, and it didn't seem contrived at all. She
And
wasn't
the
making it
way
up.
like both of their stories match. Without them having seen each other like after it.
Right.
I don't know what I just said, but their stories were exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was speechless. I was like, well, they're telling the truth, because it's exactly, there's nothing that's different here.
Yeah.
There was where's the lie? No lies
Right.
detected.
So it's not just also, sorry, Joe, like their stories are matching up, but also I think what cops try to do is they want you to keep going over information, because the more you tell a story, they want you to fuck up somewhere along the line and have inconsistencies. But there were no inconsistencies. Because they had lived through it. They weren't lying. So it's everything that they lived through. They were going through all those details, and it was matching each time.
Yeah. His lawyers were geniuses for that reason, where I loved so Aaron had two lawyers, the man and the woman, and they were both thinking like, this story's fucking crazy. And there's a part where she was like, okay, now we're going to start from the top and you're going to tell it to me again. Because she's like, I need to believe that this is true.
Yeah.
You know, because the cops are going to use that same tactic. And his story never changed. And then what else did I want to mention? His lawyers are so smart that when Denise ends up getting released, you know, they make the decision to not have Denise and Aaron meet up, because they don't, you know, they wanted to make sure that their stories sound identical before they even have the opportunity to meet up, you know, so the cops can't say, well, you know, their stories could have corroborated with one another, you know, because they could have met up and made a plan, you know, made it a plan or something, or planned it out. So I love that. They were like, nope, let's keep them separate until we have more information, until we feel more secure about this situation.
100%.
But bro, the fucking cops, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. The interrogation system was fucked up. How he told him that he failed the lie detector test, which we gotta get rid of that shit. Lie detector tests,
They're not admissible in court.
They're not admissible in court. Like, come on, get rid of that shit. Throw it in the trash. Okay.
And I get, like, they use that as a tactic, you know, especially like they'll say, oh, we found a weapon. And like they really have, like, they lied to suspects all the time. Like, I get it, because they think that they'll crack under pressure.
Right. Poor Aaron was laying in that room crying with no socks, no shoes on, wearing those jail clothes. I felt he looked like a baby at one point. He was like cradled into the chair, and he was like talking to himself. I was like, what the fuck is going on? That poor kid was so lost, so confused, had been there for hours. I mean, I would have had a panic attack.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Well, because he was a victim too. Like, I mean, you're supposed to feel safest in your home, and to have a stranger come in and violate that, and then take your girlfriend, and you're in a vulnerable position, being asleep too. Like you're awoken.
To attack.
No, so it's like violation upon violation, and then you think that you're being a good person and you're going to the cops, and that they're going to turn around and say, okay, like, we're going to look for her. And instead they completely dismiss that. They're not going to do anything about it. And instead they say, oh, well, okay, maybe you're the one who did this. I mean, the fucking trauma, you know?
Not just safest in your home, but Aaron says it. He's like, I went to the cops because I needed help. I thought that they would help me. You know, he
that's
went
their
to
job.
He went to the one place where he thought, I could be safe here. They're going to help me. And
they have one job.
Right. And they do the complete opposite. So it's
fucked up.
Really fucked up, you know, the justice system, and
also I think done. Yeah, I mean, listen, that boiled my blood. And I think also the way that the media handled things really is upsetting too, because the way that they twist a story. So after Denise finally gets released from her kidnapper, they drop her off at her father's home or apartment or whatever. And she does end up talking to the cops and giving a statement, and she gets a lawyer, and he tells her, don't give any more statements, like you need to come to San Francisco and we need to go over things. And the media twists it and says she didn't cooperate with the cops, she's wearing her hood and running away. And it's like, that's not what is happening at all.
Well, because they're just trying to, sell.
Of
papers,
course.
Yeah, you could sell papers without being a fucking asshole,
Exactly.
without
I agree.
One day they'll learn that.
denying a woman, after claiming that she's been raped twice. Wait. We just skipped a very important part,
Trigger warning.
Well, we should have done the trigger warning at the top of the episode. I'm sorry, guys. So going back to the cops, Aaron tells them that the abductor was going to call him again at some point. And what do the cops do? They put his phone on fucking airplane mode. And because they did that, Denise got raped a second time. What
I forgot
the
about the airplane
fuck?
mode.
What the fuck? He's telling you
Joe.
the guy, the abductor is going to call me. You would think, why would you put the phone on the airplane mode? You would think that they would hold on to the phone and wait for that second call and try to trace
what
the
was the
call.
point of that?
What was the point of
What was
that?
the point
Who
of
made
the
that?
airplane
Who made that mistake? So someone needs to get their pay docked, get their demotion.
Fired.
They need to get
Millions and
fired.
billions of dollars are going to the cops and to do stupid shit like that. And when she says it, she's like, they could have stopped that second rape. Like I was just like furious for her, but also hurt for her, because such a stupid thing to do, But anyway, going back to I just wanted to mention that, but going back to the media, yeah, they want to sell and make headlines, but you don't have to be an asshole, you don't have to deny a woman's rape. I mean, the cops were already denying the story. They said that it wasn't real, it was fake, that, Denise and Aaron wasted the police resources. And of course, the media just kind of went with it and fucking humiliated her and him, and said that it was all fake. And when we find out that it wasn't fake, I was so happy for them, when they stood there, for that press conference, and she was able to look at them and, in every reporter's eyes like, yeah, bitch, you fucked up and I was telling the truth. So fuck you all and suck my dick and choke on it,
Pretty much. That's what she said.
Right. Not just the police, but the media. Oh, I love it when they get it wrong.
I know. Well, and I love that it took a female cop to get the answers.
Yeah.
The one person that went above and beyond and kept researching it, what they should have done from the beginning.
We shouldn't have done from the beginning.
This is also not the 80s or the 90s. You have all this information in a data in the computer.
Yeah.
You can actually look this shit up, see what the MO was. You can see everything. This one cop, a female one, who wasn't even where she lived. She was somewhere else, miles away.
40 miles.
Many miles. Yeah, 40 miles away. Was the one that cracked the whole situation.
By finding a strand of fucking hair.
Thank God for that.
Blonde hair. And she said, I'm going to find out who this hair belongs to. And she did not give up. That's what the police should be doing. You know what I mean? They should go to that extent.
They want it to be done.
They always just want to close the case. They want to make it easier. They just want to make it, going back to Adnan Syed's case, Not only is it a racist thing, but they're like, just help us out and we can just get this case closed and lock up this guy. Like...
But then look what happened is that he struck again and he was going to rape another woman.
Right.
I mean, thank goodness, she was living with her parents and the parents woke up and the dad went and fought him off. But if she had been living alone...
Yeah. That 911 phone call, Tracy, I thought it was so eerie because you could hear
Yeah.
the mom. She was like, "My husband. They try to take our daughter. My husband's fighting with them now." And then you hear the husband shout from the background, "They got away!" And I was just like, "Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so creepy." And I'm like, "They got
Yeah.
away? Did they take the daughter with them? Is she still
Right.
safe?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was so mad because I was like, "This could have been fucking avoided."
Yeah.
Man,
Let's also talk about this sociopath. What was his name? I don't even know his
who
name. I don't
cares?
care
We
for his
don't. We
name.
don't need
Yeah.
to mention his name. But piece of
It's not
shit.
worth
But
remembering.
Harvard
yeah, at
graduate.
all.
You know, it was
He
he
And,
was
like,
was
ex-military.
so in the
he was
public
debarred. Like
eye too.
he lost his license, right? He was a
Yeah.
lawyer, lost his
Yeah.
license.
Wasn't he an immigration lawyer?
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Yes, and he was in the public eye because he would do like interviews and stuff. And
Right.
then, you know what I was thinking? Because I don't think people are born evil. You know, I, I am curious to know what his trauma is that he feels the need to do that. And it sounds to me that it was maybe a girl he couldn't have that triggered this, you know, because there were a few victims or one or two that he wanted to, and then they kind of convinced him not to.
Yeah.
Well, because didn't one woman say, like, I've already been raped once before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, I'll leave you alone.
Right.
Yeah. And then he told her how to be more safe.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have to like lock this.
Get a
like,
dog.
Get a dog.
Yeah.
What? You know, so I keep
Strange.
thinking, like, where did that come from? What did he go through
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, he became this awful human being?
Also,
The worst of the worst, the lowest of the low.
right. I mean, definitely there's things to sort out there, but also the escalation, because he had done this before and he would just like break in and rape the woman and then leave. So what was it with Denise that he made this elaborate plan to kidnap her, put her in the trunk of a stolen vehicle, drive down to his mother's house at Lake Tahoe and keep her there for
Yeah.
2 days and then release
then he
her?
said, we have to do this again. Like when he decided to rape her again. Oh, we have to. And then also the fact that he did his research before, because he said this wasn't supposed to happen to you. It was supposed to happen to Aaron's ex.
Well, and like he knew his victims' names, because that one
Yeah.
woman that they interviewed and he was saying her name, Tracy. So was he stalking them? Because he was like peeping Tom too. So it's like, was he stalking them beforehand? Was he still a lawyer at the time? Do they have access to just like citizen records? Like, did he have these women already targeted?
Yeah, he definitely, something happened for him to want to do this to women, you know. But then what was also interesting to me is that he also kind of wanted recognition for it, right?
I mean, are
Well,
we surprised? They love that.
Yeah,
they,
narcissism. Yeah.
Narcissism, you know.
They want the attention.
But going back to what you mentioned, Andrea, the ex-girl, Aaron Quinn's ex-girlfriend, we never got that question answered. Why was this intended for her? Does she have any affiliation to him? Why did he want her? You know, what happened there? Do you think do you guys have that question and answered for yourself? Do you care about the answer to that question?
I
feel
don't
like-
care, but it's just the fact that he did this research. You know, it's just so disgusting. It's the fact that you know this person's ex-partner, that means you know a lot. You know, you've researched so much about their lives. You know every move that they make. And I want to say that what happened is like he did a little investigation about them, and then he forgot about them, and he wasn't with her anymore. you know, and he ended up taking the wrong girl.
Right, because how long had Aaron and Andrea been broken up? It must have been like a little while.
They've been broken up for a while.
Right.
I mean, they were still kind of like, you know, talking here and there.
Well, yeah.
But
I love that they all work together.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry, people.
what's wrong with people?
Don't
I'm sorry.
shit where you eat.
Where you eat.
Please. As someone who has dated coworkers, it still gets messy. It gets messy. Even if you don't think so, it will. Don't do it.
It's not worth it.
I've never done it. I don't think so.
Don't. My advice, don't. But I digress. So the fact that they all work together, yikes. But maybe that was why.
Right.
Maybe that was why. Like, he was stalking their work.
Yeah, probably.
So maybe he saw them all leaving together. I don't know. Maybe he thought they looked
It's
similar.
also so invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to update his
know
research
everything.
because they're no longer together, my guy.
And the other thing is that Andrea had dated the cop.
Yeah.
That
Was dating
FBI
the
agent,
cop.
yeah.
Oh my God! When they said that, this is why they didn't want to keep investigating.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that
Conflict of interest.
when they had brought that up, like, hey, just so you know, this FBI agent is involved with someone within the case. And they were like, oh, no, it's fine.
It is.
He-
and
he-
they
he
said it
hasn't
was not a
shown that
conflict
it-
of interest. I was like, that's
Yeah.
that's total bullshit. It is a
No.
conflict of interest.
It is.
Like, please.
and that's where our tax money goes.
Yeah, you're telling me they couldn't assign another agent?
Yeah. Please suck the fart out of my ass.
So specific. And gross, Giovanni.
I mean, that's how I
You
feel.
really mean that, though. Wow.
I really do.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh,
How
like,
many?
I was going to say real quick, because, like, I kind of, sometimes with watching, like, all these, like, Datelines 2020, all these podcasts, like, you hear about some of these smaller cities, and you maybe kind of expect that their police department is going to be maybe a little corrupt or whatever. But the FBI, like, I would expect a little bit more. Like, they're supposed to be, I feel like, impartial, unbiased. You know, so the fact that I feel like they kind of let them down, like Aaron and Denise, in this case, like, that is really disappointing.
It's so disappointing. And how many victims did they say he had?
There were quite a few.
There were many, and all over in that area.
Yeah, they were all in.
They were kind of like distance, but obviously all in California. But,
Right.
you know, how this could have been avoidable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's also like other counties and, you know, in police departments, they need to be able to put their egos aside and share data.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because like this probably could have been prevented way beforehand if, you know, they share their case files and they can look and say, oh, this happened in another county X miles away, but it's the same MO. Because people travel. And
Yeah.
I mean, he was intelligent enough that he was crossing county lines.
which
Yeah.
it's still crazy to me that, you know, because it happened in different jurisdictions, you know, that criminals can get away with this shit, right? It's just
And they
like,
do all the time.
Like, why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? You know, like, I get it that, you know, there has to be different jurisdictions and things like that, but
is there
there
an
needs to be a
open
better
communication?
communication system where it's
Right.
like, hey, look, this is happening in our town, in our county.
Are you
You
guys
know,
having this
are you
issue?
guys having this issue? You know, where they can kind of access each other's systems and, you know, connect the dots, because what the fuck? Like,
Right.
again, this is where our tax money is going to. And for what? There's no communication. The system's it's so corrupt. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And even she said it. You know, the detective herself, she was like, it's a shame that we failed this couple. We
Yeah.
failed these people, you know? Yeah, you fucking did. You fucking did. And you continue to do so. This is not the only case that things like this have happened. Like,
Happens all the time.
And you think about it, and it wasn't even that hard, because he would do the same
yeah.
always, and it was the same description, the same MO, everything, constantly, all the time.
Very specific with
Very
the
specific
light,
with
the
the
laser,
wetsuit,
and
the laser, the goggles,
Right.
and how how did they let this happen so many times before finally having this one cop be like, wait, no, we have to do something. And notice how as they progress, they get messier and messier, the criminals. Because when they went to that to the little, was it Lake Tahoe that they said? Where was it in California? The little the house,
The
that they
cabin.
had?
with
that
the-
was in Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a disaster there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it was
I
disgusting.
like, this is disgusting. Yeah, and I just feel like they just get messier and messier, and that's when they're like, oh, well, maybe we have a chance on cracking this case.
Well, I think the whole thing that gave it away was when he had tried to break in and kidnap, rape the 23-year-old, and then the dad fought him
The
off.
parents were there.
He left his phone at the scene.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the cop got the provider and the number and called and was like, oh, do you know this number? And the woman was like, oh, that's my son.
Yeah.
They get sloppy.
So just things like that. Like, I think if that hadn't have happened, he probably would still be doing this.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 But thank goodness he left that phone.
Yeah.
It was such a good documentary. I love this one. I mean, Gone Girl
I also feel
references.
like it was a journey.
Yes, I was back
yeah.
and forth. Do I believe her? I believe him. I don't believe them. Wait, do I? I do. You know, I was just like, I've watched it twice. You know, I have to say I enjoyed it so much. I've watched it first with alone, then I watched it with my boyfriend and my mom, and just interesting seeing their reactions in real time about saying, my mom did not believe her at all. She was like, that bitch is a fucking liar, you know, until the very
Janet.
last episode. I know, Janet.
Janet,
Until the
calm
very
down.
last episode, she was like, like she was in shock, you know.
Yeah.
But I love a documentary that, you know, keeps me on my toes. And I mean, I finished it in one night, in one sitting.
Yeah, me too.
You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely,
Because I
yeah.
was like, I need to know
Back to
the
back.
truth.
Also, I know we don't have fun facts, but I did find that and I wrote it down, that the producers were the same people as the Tinder swindler.
Also very good.
And
I didn't watch
really
that.
good-
Should I watch that?
Giovanni.
That one's good. I love a good
she-
con. I love a good con.
All right.
I
Well,
love it.
don't say anything else about it. I'm going to
We're
watch
not
the
going
Tinder
to say anything,
Swindler.
but also this is your job now, so you need to.
Right. I get paid
Then,
for this.
one of them did,
No, I don't.
You get paid with love.
Right.
One of them did "Don't Fuck with Cats."
Oh, that's
Also
a
good.
good one.
One of the producers, and the other one did "Till Death Do Us Part,"
Okay.
which is another really good documentary. So all those, if you guys haven't watched it, please.
Okay.
If you're into true crime documentaries, those are great to
Right.
watch. So these directors and producers are great.
They know what they're doing.
Bernadette Higgins and where's the other one? Felicity Morris.
Mm-hmm. I did see that it got like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, let's look at the ratings. Yes.
So
let's see. So I also have the IMDb reading here, which is a 7.5 out of 10, which is not bad. That's good.
not bad.
And really good Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, 95 Rotten Tomatoes, which
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I hate IMDb ratings. I honestly think that those are kind of like paid
Well,
critics.
because IMDb is us. We do it ourselves. You can rate it yourself, Joe.
Oh, but I thought Rotten Tomatoes you could as well.
Rotten is the critics. but IMDb, you can rate the movies yourself.
Oh.
'Cause I think
I thought it
on-
was the opposite.
On Rotten Tomatoes, they have an audience score where it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
we can rate it.
And
But
then-
yeah, I
and
think
then they
critics.
have the critics.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was the opposite. Good to
Don't be stupid.
know.
Get it together.
Sorry.
Wow.
Well,
You
yeah.
and Matt Mustard, morons.
Well, it's sad that, there are no fun facts. It's not the best story.
I know.
But I'm happy to say that, or to see that they do have a happy ending. They get married.
Ooh, I love
They
that.
have two beautiful daughters. I think they're two girls, right? So they seem happy. I think this really made them stronger. They're trauma bonded.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It
know?
reminded me of Hunger Games a little bit, because
Yeah.
Katniss and Peeta end up
Yep.
together because they have that trauma together, which also at the same time, you could say it could have gone the other way where they went through this
That's
terrible
true.
ordeal. And when you look at that person, you're just reminded of this terrible thing.
Right.
So I wasn't sure whether or not they were gonna still be together because it could go either way. I think it just depends on how you are individually and then how you handle it as a couple. But I'm very happy for them.
Me too.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
I cried.
It melted my heart
Cried.
for sure.
I was like, they deserve this happiness.
Yeah.
all the way.
And they got 2.5 million out of it.
Yes.
Fuck
I was
yeah.
gonna say
Not
that. I was
enough.
like, not even close to what.
Because also,
they deserve.
because they sued for defamation. Because that's the thing, like you put them through the ringer. You raked their reputation through the mud. You called these people killers and liars, and it was a hoax. And meanwhile, they suffered this terrible thing. This poor woman is raped and kidnapped and held prisoner. 2.5 million, the money is nice, but at the end of the day, sometimes what I feel like a lot of these victims want to hear is the police department admit that they made a mistake and they want an apology. And I feel like they didn't get that. So is it really justice? I mean,
They
yeah,
didn't
they
get
caught
that.
the guy, but
Instead, they got a fucking award.
he got a promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they denied when there was a trial about that, the chief saying, burn the bitch for the press conference.
Yes. What the
And he fucking denied it.
Yep.
I had no.
And you're being
words for that.
deposed. I mean, you're still on oath or whatever. You're supposed to be telling the truth. Can't you? If it went to a court case
Listen.
and they found out that he did say that and he said that he hadn't in the deposition, I feel like something could happen with
I
that.
have more respect for people when they own up to it. And they said, look,
Absolutely.
you know what? I fucked up.
100%.
I fucked up. Could have done better. I should have done this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I give people so much respect when I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that because I know that that's not easy to do, but so fucking egotistical, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Really.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. So that just really made me mad for a lot of this with the cops and the media. It just made me so mad.
Nothing's
But yeah, so
changed.
for them to
given
have their
we
happy
didn't
ending.
start like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
That they got their happy ending and they got a little financial
Yeah.
Right.
gift, I guess.
Well, and they did catch the guy in the end, which is always good because then that's also validation that it's we weren't lying, assholes.
Piece of shit.
I
Anyway.
know.
I really like
Ugh.
the I mean it's an awful story, but I recommend 100%. 2 thumbs up for
I was going to say 2 thumbs up too.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah, definitely enjoyable.
Tracy, thumbs up or thumbs down? You have to say it. It's tradition.
Oh, thumbs up, obviously.
Hurry up. Get your shit.
1 or 2.
Get your shit
'Cause I got
together,
2
Tracy.
lately.
Come on.
I'll do 2 thumbs up. It was really good.
She was
yeah.
peer pressured.
A little, but it was good. No, it was good. I enjoyed it.
And also it's really eye opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women never people never believe their stories. So
Right.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
All right. Well, next week, I want to announce that we'll be talking about a new TV series, Netflix series. Actually, I'm excited to watch it. I haven't started it yet. Have you guys started it yet?
No?
No.
No.
So next episode will be Griselda. It's on Netflix starring Sofia Vergara, and I'm so excited to get into it because this is a new role for her. It's a serious role, and she's, we're used to seeing her doing comedy. I know. She looks great.
Yeah.
The scenes look great. I cannot wait to jump into that and comment with you both.
We love commenting.
That's what we do.
It's our favorite thing.
But that's all I have on my end for this episode. Do you guys have anything else you want to add and share?
That's it. Just remember to comment, like, subscribe to the podcast on all the platforms. Rate us only if it's a good rating. If it's bad, get out of here.
If it's bad, shove it up your ass.
Yes.
And then Giovanni will fart it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hey,
Also,
my
if
saying
you
is
have-
like, don't be a pab. Don't be a pussy ass bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember when you guys
Also-
had to break it down and
Right.
tell me what that meant last time?
Right.
Oh man.
We just made it up on the podcast. And so if you have a bad
Look out
comment,
for new merch.
if you have a bad comment, you can suck the fart out of my ass.
That is a great merch. I
Wait,
was
suck
gonna
the
say-
fart out of my ass or Pab?
Yeah. Both of them.
Both.
One in the front, one in the back.
Right. Literally.
It should say like suck the fart out of me in the front and then PAB in the back.
Yo, I love that.
That's
Hey, that'll be maybe our merch.
you never know.
That's
You
what I
never
said.
know.
I cannot wait to know. Also, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. We actually have Instagram and TikTok now.
Yes, we have social media.
Yes. So it's TSM
G-O. Pod.
Pod.
Say that again.
God.
'Cause
No, can somebody else say it?
I know that was beautiful.
My brain is shut at this time.
No, that was beautiful. They got it. You guys can find
Yeah,
us.
and we're also on TikTok. It's gonna be in the description
Yeah.
of the podcast.
And
We also have an email. Show must go on pod@gmail. If you have any suggestions of shows or movies that we should watch, please send them to us. If you have corrections, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you can shove
We
it
know
up
we're
your
not
ass.
perfect.
We're not perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Beautiful.
thanks for joining us, guys. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to talk about Griselda next week.
Oof. It's going to be good.
Thank you for listening to The Show Must Go On.
We love you. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
And scene.